Greetings, my dudes. I have a little bit of free time this afternoon, so I just wanted to tackle something that's coming up in Chop Shop a lot and something that's going to be very, very important as we move forwards into jamming with each other and playing more games and just being able to react as guitarists to lots of different situations. That delightful thing is, of course, relative keys and using shape 1 of our pentatonic scales to play over just about anything on the guitar. Guitars are weird with this, guitarists are weird with this, because we are very shape-based creatures. There's loads of theory tucked away in here, but I am by and large going to be trying to sidestep some of it so that we can get playing first and later answer some questions about the sounds we're making. I'm going to try and play A minor pentatonic, shape 1, on my guitar. That means using my first finger to find the note A. And I particularly want to start and stop on notes of A. There are a couple of root notes in this shape, but I'm going to just demonstrate from this bottom one to begin with. That is going to sound great, not only over the chord of A minor, but in the key of A minor. So anytime you play over a backing track, whether it be one from the Chop Shop folder or online, looking for those that are in A minor, in this case, would be perfect. The relative key of A minor can be found by going to the second note in this shape. In this case, it's this first versus little finger stretch, and that note is C. That means, in terms of theory, that the C major pentatonic, which we would like to use over the key of C major, has exactly the same notes in it as A minor does. They are literally using the same information. We're just hearing the same notes from a slightly different point of view. That means if I'm playing over the chord of C or the key of C major, I'm going to want to use that. And it would sound like home when I come back to that C. That is different to if I wanted to sound like I was at home over A minor, where I would use my A root note, my first finger. That would sound like home over A minor. They are by and large interchangeable. They of course are exactly the same notes after all, but if you want to sound like you're coming home, it's very important to use the correct root note at maybe the beginning and especially the end of our phrases. To give you a slightly spicier example, I'm now going to go and look for something a bit more real world. Like let's say we're going to look for the key of A major. A backing track has come up in the key of A major, and I, as a guitarist, want to play over it using that same old trick. I want to find the note of A, but I'm going to start it with my little finger on that A note. I need to bear in mind that I'm kind of starting on the second note of my shape 1 of the pentatonic. This is where there's a lot of bamboozlement in terms of us recycling this stuff. I feel okay, in what I'm doing, just jumping straight through that scale, but it's very confusing at first because we want to just acknowledge what the relative minor is, maybe. That helps us work out, am I definitely in the right place? Am I using the right sort of thing? The relative minor could be found, assuming I've started on my pinky finger, on that A, by going down to my first finger as it would exist in that first shape of the pentatonic. That would grant me F sharp as my relative minor to A major. That is the most confusing bit. Just being aware of kind of two keys at once, at least it certainly feels like that. If I wanted to play over the key of A major, something that might go on in a guitar player's head is, right, cool, I'm going to find that A with my little finger, and just based on that, what is my relative minor? And then a lot of guitarists would maybe work out that F sharp minor is the relative minor. That doesn't mean they're going to land on the F sharp at all. That would sound odd because we do want it to sound like A major, not F sharp minor. But it allows us to just know that, I'm safe and sound in my first shape of the F sharp minor pentatonic. There is a lot of room for personal preference here as well. Some people would rather rush ahead and learn a totally different shape. They want to compartmentalize this stuff in a different way. Other people will have entire careers based around shape 1 of the kind of minor / major pentatonic. My intention with this video is not necessarily to answer all your questions in one go. I realize this is still a lot of stuff going on here, but hopefully maybe even just generate some more questions. And if you'd like some more examples or little videos like this, please don't be afraid to ask. It is what I'm here for. Have fun.